Boom! The three sets of eyeballs I got here. Now two. Well, this was a very impromptu stream. Impromptu, but let's start it off. Megatron, Jawara, Catchin, a rad stream. We've got I Renegade. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. That band is Resurrects. They are a rockabilly band, and typically around Halloween is when they get pretty big. But good stuff. I will leave a link in my description on the band. I do like psychobilly. It's fast rockabilly, so think about the Stray Cats, but with a punk twist. But anyhow, glad you guys are here. Let's see what we got. I Renegade. We all stand alone till we reach our graves. I think that's what Resurrects is trying to persuade us in the music. Making some good eats. Good for you, Megatron. So tell me, guys, what are we listening to these days? There's been multiple requests for, hey, Rad, let's do a music live stream. We've done live streams on movies, candy, activities, hobbies, and so let's do it on music because I'm a huge music guy. I love it. I love several different genres, and so let's talk about it. What gets you guys running? Shaka, New Lou, peace, Rad, good to have you. Tell me where you are from. If you guys are new here, let me know where you're at. Glad you are here. Megatron says, checked out some Lip Cream on Spotify. Japanese punk rock, Lip Cream. Back in the 80s, I remember reading a Thrasher magazine. There's a bunch of these Japanese punk rockers, and their name was Lip Cream. I got into them. I had to buy a cassette. Actually, I never bought the cassette. My buddy bought it. It was an import. And boy, those Japanese can play. When they put their mind to something, they just kill it, right? So a little bit about what I like. As you guys know, I like the Cult, LA Guns, a lot of rock. I like music that's different. The only rap I truly, truly like is Run DMC and Beastie Boys. Maybe a little bit of NWA. Maybe some Snoop Dogg, early Snoop Dogg, things like that. But I don't like any of this new stuff. I can't deal with the cymbals. I just feel like it's completely lost. And I'm just not into anything that's hip hop past 1990. People go nuts over Eminem. I appreciate Eminem's talent, but I'm not a big fan of him. I think he's a beta male, but I don't disregard his talent. Does that make sense? Megatron says, nature hikes for me. That's what gets me going. Awesome, brother. Friday I did a hike, which was gnarly, close to the house. 1,200 feet of elevation. I think I mentioned that. I'm from Vegas, says Shaka. I'm the one who commented about working at the face. Oh, okay, brother. Your name is different today. But yeah, if you're in Lehigh, let me know. We can meet up. It's about 35 minutes away. Akuma is a hardcore punk band from Montreal, which brings me, Megatron, to the next genre. I love punk rock. I love punk rock since the late 70s. Generation X, T-Rex, Sex Pistols. You've heard me play Sex Pistols. Who else? New York Dolls, the Toy Dolls. I can't even think right now. But I was young. I was, 4 or 5 years old at the time, so I found them later as I was skateboarding. Ice Cube is real. Ice Cube is dope. I don't mind him. I think he's smart as hell, especially he's not libtard. Everyone is waiting for Rad clothing wear and quotes on cap, shirts, and hoodie. I Renegade. Thanks for pushing me, brother. I like early Metallica, not the new stuff. Attaboy, Jawara. People look at Jawara with the dreads and they're like, oh, that dude loves Bob Marley. But he knows what up. Saw Metallica in 1989. First listened to them, I think, in 1984. 12 years old at the time. They had just started, 2 years before that. Saw them in 1989 with the Cult. I was 16. I wasn't 17 yet. And the guys were massively older than me with their little lighters and smoking, and I was scared to crap because they were so much older. So there you go. New rap is crap. I would agree with that. Every week it's a new artist. Nothing that sticks. Stephen from Arizona is in the house. Good to see you. Father Saunders, there's an OG right there. Father Saunders, what did Father Saunders listen to when he was serving our country? I'd love to know. Ramones, big fan of the Ramones. I'll tell you that, Megatron. Good for you for bringing that up. Ramones, 70s punk, right? I have their anthology, which I listen to quite a bit. Definitely love the Ramones. A lot of bands influenced by the Ramones. Both punk rock, Beastie Boys were influenced by them. Actually, several punk bands that were black, Bad Brains. If you want to call Living Color started out as a punk band. They took a lot of cues from Bad Brains. Bad Brains in the East Coast, all black, reggae, Rasta, punk rock band. One of my favorite bands. So if you look at the East Coast punk rock scene, you've got Black Flag, you've got Minor Threat, which turned into Fugazi, and you've got Bad Brains. If you go West Coast is, let's talk about it. West Coast, 7 Seconds, Adolescence, DI, Drunk Engines, up north, Dead Kennedys. And I don't know if you call Dead Kennedys like hardcore, but they were a punk in his own genre. Dead Kennedys are amazing. Get it on, bang a gong, attaboy. Jawara. I might go for the power plant they're building. I think it's a place called Delhi. If you're in town, let me know. We can meet up. Love to meet the guys that come and represent. CBGBs had the pest. Yes, they did, brother. Yes, they did. The Faction. If you want to talk about skate punk, The Faction, Odd Man Out with Steve Caballero playing bass. US Bombs, Dwayne Peters band. I don't know if I'm saying crazy stuff, but it is what it is. Early Slayer. Look at Jawara. Who would think Jawara? You see him walking down. You see him walking down the street. You think this guy loves like Burning Spear and Bob Marley, but the guy loves Metallica, Slayer. He's an author. Isn't it great? Isn't it great who we have in our chat? Sanitarium by Metallica. I like early Metallica. People like go nuts over the Black Album. It's okay. It's more pop. I like Kill 'Em All and Justice for All, Master of Puppets. Mouth Agape's in the house. Attaboy. What's Mouth listen to on his dual sport as he's driving up to see Dak? When I was serving, Father says I'll have to think as I turn 30. I know you guys are listening to something. Father Saunders, check out his channel. They say most people get stuck in music they listen to in their teens. I have a wide range of music taste from the 50s to the late 90s, but after 2000, music went to shit. I can agree with that. I listen, 90% of my music is what I grew up on. And a lot of my bands that I like, I mean, The Cult just came out with a new one in last year. Was it? No, it was April, I think. Dawkins just came out with one. The Rolling Stones just came out with one. Cult of Personality, attaboy. Black Pill backers in the house. Good to see you, brother. Brother Frank needs our prayers, so shout out to Brother Frank. What about Orange 9mm? Oh, there's a band I haven't thought about for a while. Megatron, laying it down in Chinatown. The Rollins band, You know, I like Black Flag before Henry Rollins. I'm just not a big Henry Rollins guy. I'm sorry. I don't like him. I like the early stuff. 48 from the Golden ERS. I'm definitely biased when it comes to hip hop. Well, tell us who you like from the hip hop. Would love to know, Shaka. Living Color's good, but they only had that one CD that kicked ass. Only new artist I'm into, Tom McDonald, because he wrecks. I do like Tom McDonald. He's the white guy that's out destroying the woke. I like his message. I think we should all meet up, right? Slayer did Season in the Abyss. How about South of Heaven? Come on, Megatron. South of Heaven by Slayer. But they broke up. Slam Cave in the house. Slam Cave knows a thing or two about music. It is sad but true, Jora. In my dreams, Breaking the Chains by Dokken. Don Dokken. Who did Dokken play for? Who can tell me who Don Dokken played for? Bullet for My Valentine. Ooh, Father Saunders. What about Billy Talent? Anybody into Billy Talent? I think Bullet for My Valentine and Billy Talent were similar. 3-6 Mafia, Hate Breed, Five Finger Death Punch. Have you listened to the Five Finger Death Punch with Kenny Wayne? And they do Blue on Black, and it's got the dude from Queen. I think it's got a couple other guitarists, but a great song. I'm back on Prince after Sinead brought him back into the light before she deleted herself. I was just listening to Prince driving home, 1999. You read my mind, Joara. Prince is, I gotta say something. People say Eddie Van Halen's best guitarist or Eric Clapton. No way. No way. Prince. Every band that has come after the Kiss by Prince has been influenced. Even Eddie Van Halen said Prince was the best guitarist. That dude's crazy. MGTOW Outlaws in the house. Good to see you, brother. Check out MGTOW Outlaw stream. Henry Rollins was all about spoken word. Yeah, I just thought, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate his talent, but I just never got into it. Mal says Pantera. Tool. Wow. Maynard. He's liking some Maynard. Faith No More. Ooh, going back. Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Attaboy. He knows what up. Raining Blood is my favorite Slayer album. You know, I can see Slam liking Raining Blood. Alice in Chains and Tool never get old. Nope. Saw Alice in Chains in August and they're still playing, even without Lane. And rest in peace, Lane. I did a live when I was out in Lehigh for a bar called the Sports Bar. It's titled It's Raining in Utah. You can't say Utah. You have to say Utah. That'd be fun to meet up, Shaka. Catatonia. There you go. Anthrax, Testament. Whoa, Sepultura from Brazil. And Five Finger Death Punch, Ivan Moody's the front man. Yeah, he's gone through the ringer. Immortal Technique, Gangstar, Science of Life, mostly underground. Ooh. We got a couple rappers that might be into that. Running with the Devil is my favorite Van Halen jam. That is a terrific song. I like Eruption, obviously, on the guitar part. I do like Women and Children First. I think my favorite Van Halen song is on Van Halen 2, Dance the Night Away. There's something about the lyrics and the melody and the guitar that just kicks ass. Now, if you want to go earlier, forgive me for liking bands that currently have ruined their reps. Rage! Zac de la Rocha, La Raza, Korn. You know, most of the Korn folks played in Christian choir and Christian bands. They met at some Christian camp in the summer. Type O Negative, Peter Steele. Attaboy, Father. I knew you liked. My favorite song by Type O Negative is Everything Dies. Or is it Everyone Dies? And Christian Woman. There you go. Fear Factory, Tupac, Bone Thugs, and Harmony. Attaboy, representing from the Midwest. Megatron, Like, and Soundgarden. Chris Cornell, rest in peace. I'm from the Northwest, so those are my bands I listen to. Rusty Coolidge is the fastest guitarist I have seen. Slam. Attaboy. Adam Calhoun and Ryan Upchurch are dope white rockers. I don't know them, but I'll have to check them out. Appreciate that. War Ensemble. Look at you guys going crazy. Devil, Driver, Sepultura, Soulfly, Disturbed, Slipknot. I can see Father Saunders on the battlefield listening to Slipknot. And The Cradle Will Rock. Attaboy. Women and Children First, man. That's off Women and Children. Wonderful band. I mean, early Van Halen kicked ass. 80s had the greatest music. I mean, if we can go 70s, 60s to 70s, we're going to go Zeppelin, The Doors. We're going to go Cream. We're going to go Nazareth. 70s, let's go. We'll skip the 70s. We'll skip the 70s. But we'll get to 80s, which is punk, which is hardcore, which is metal, which was Slayer was born, Pantera, Sepultura, all the Faith No More, Anthrax. Then we'll get to the 90s. Good to see Teddy Boy Smith from England. Paul is in the house. The first concert my dad took me to was as a kid was Candlebox. Ooh, Far Away. Cover Me by Candlebox. Good band. First band that was ever signed to Madonna's Records Maverick label was Candlebox. Interesting, huh? Prom. Boy, we're going back old school. I remember Prom. Fear Factory, the Manufacturer is my jam. There you go. Appreciate that, Paul. And Avenged Sevenfold. Ooh, new fast metal. Talk about new metal. Stone Sour, Avenged Sevenfold. That and Mulvane. There you go. You know who likes Mulvane? I think Scotty. Scotty's side likes Mulvane. Hopefully Scotty jumps on. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I was grunge before grunge was a word. Attaboy. What part of the Northwest? Were you up in Seattle? Because I grew up in Beaverton, Oregon. Nail Bomb. Look at you guys going nuts. Cold Chamber, Machine Head, White Zombie. Ooh, Rob Zombie. Power Man 5000. Crazy how Rage became Rage for the Machine once socialists get a little power. Dude, the problem with Rage is they were all about, question authority and, we will not relent, all that fucking bullshit. And then they were like, you can't come to our show unless you have a mask on. Candlebox did Far Behind. Yes. Left Me Far. That's a great song still. I think they're touring right now. Fear Factory, Machine Head, Soilwork, and the Black Dahlia Murder. Ooh, there we go. Deftones. I figured somebody would bring Deftones up. SCE, my master wrench, wearing those birth control glasses. Man, this is what happens when you wear glasses when you're in third grade. Coke bottles for $300. Trebek. Stuck Mojo, Clawfinger, Mudvayne. There you go, Paul. I got it. Spokane. Ooh, Gonzaga. I almost moved to Spokane. Love me some Lake Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint, Idaho, which is 30, 40 minutes. Spokane's dope, though. One of my favorite cities to go to. Nirvana and Metallica got me playing guitar, and I still do. Crunching out some Metallica is a good stress reliever. Metallica sing. Have you ever heard a love song by Metallica? No. Char says, Rad, Megatron, Flanders, good to see everybody. Father 7 does. You guys are hardcore. Auto-tune, we don't like that mega. We don't like anything to do with auto-tune. It's Kanye West. T-Rex died young. Deftones, man. Deftones are dope. I mean, what about Papa Roach? Anybody like 90s? Let's go 90s now. Papa Roach, 311. 311 is out there. 311's still playing, although it's just the original singer now. It's funny. It's typically the original singer that remains, like Faster Pussycat. He's the only guy. What is he? 57. Timmy Brown, and his band is like 22. But they're still killing the hits, right? All his other guitarists, obviously retired or so forth. Joy Division level terrorists apart. He committed suicide. He did. Unfortunately. Great band, Joy Division. Joy Division turned into New Order, Bernard Sumner, and I think 2 other bands. Can't remember the other bands' names. Breakdown of Sanity is a killer band, says David. Attaboy. Seven Dust. Papa Roach. What about POV? Anybody into POV from the 90s? 311 is from Omaha. Attaboy, Father. No butt rock, 311. I don't know if 311 was butt rock, were they? Whiskey in the Jar was a very gender accurate song. There you go, SCE. That's what we're talking about. I love 50 to 60s Motown. Makes me think black men were balls deep in poontang. They took their girlfriends to make out, put some Motown. Attaboy. And Elvis was early Motown, I'll tell you that. When I went to Memphis Studios, Elvis, the band that was at Sun Studios was a quartet out of prison that were black that played Motown a cappella. And that was in the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s, a cappella with black people. Motown was where it was at. Early Motown. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. I love that song. Shout out to Eric Peterson of Testament. Attaboy. POV, yes, they did Youth of a Nation. I believe POV is a Christian band too. Blue October, WHO 3-4. I think I've heard them. Weren't they big in like early 2000s? Megatron loves Tool. Attaboy. Blue Oyster Cult. More cowbell. In the early 90s. Attaboy. So listen, punk rock is huge in my world. I mean, I like Adolescents, The Descendants, 7 Seconds, Circle Jerks, The Vandals, DI, Dead on Arrival, U.S. Bombs. Who else? The Accused. Bad Religion, right? I've never got into like post, like the Blink 182s, New Front. What's the New Front? Is it New Front Army? I never got into them. Like past, I liked the early punk. That's what I grew up on. I skateboarded to them and so forth. Creed was also a Christian rock band. You're right, brother. They were. I heard a rumor that Scott Stapp from Creed was going to be the front man for Motley Crue. I still have all the Father record albums from the 60s and 70s. Still have my CD carrier with tons of CD. You got the CD carrier that's got the it's black with a little zipper around it that can hold like 30 discs. I bet you do. The most Red Pill album I ever heard was So Pretty, So Plastic by Kill Whitney Dead. Super heavy. Attaboy. Blue October, Hate Me Today. I think I've heard that song. Limp Bizkit gets a lot of hate, but now listening to them, I like they were onto something, especially about women. I like Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst. Wes Borland. Like, they got some good tunes. Like, when they first came out, everybody made fun of them. But now you listen to them, they're freaking brilliant. Ramones, 100% Char. Let's see, WHO, Creed, With Your Arms Wide Open. Attaboy. Primus, going back to Primus. Slap the Bass. Mouth Agape. My Name is Mud. Primus. Beat the Brat with the baseball bat. Oh, yeah. Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavor water is a great album. Father Saunders. I only like 3 Bon Jovi song. It's My Life. Living on a Prayer and You Give Love a Bad Name. I was in 8th grade when that CD came out. Slippery When Wet. Jawara. But I do like what's the cowboy song? I play it on guitar. Great song. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse, dead or alive. Check out Ryan Upchurch. I got to check that out. Black Pill. The Offspring. Ooh. You know, the lead singer Dexter of The Offspring has a PhD in chemistry, is a pilot, a professional pilot, and started his own winery and hot sauce business. Everyday Life was yet another rock band. And don't forget Scrape by Unseen. Attaboy. Creed. We're getting some Creed in here. I wouldn't have brought that up, but great. Charlie Christian was basically the father of rock and roll. There are a lot of artists that are obscure and beyond phenomenal. That's a great thing about the internet. You can find artists, especially B-rock bands that didn't make it because of grunge. Sergeant Rocks is one of my favorites. They're out of Chicago. They sound like Motley Crue. Killswitch Engage. There you go. Break Stuff. Great song. We Did It All for the Nookie. Gasoline by Seether. Seether from South Africa for 300, Trebek. Seether does a great cover of George Michael's Careless Whisper. November Rain, going GNR on me. Attaboy, WHO. Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, another Primus jam. What about Presidents of the United States of America? Remember Peaches? I'm like, hey ho, let's go. You got to listen to all the Ramones. Rock, 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 rock and roll high school. Who else we got here? I recently got into this Taiwanese slam metal band called Fatuous Rump. It's basically grindcore, but better. Interesting. A Taiwanese metal band. Who's that band right now from Mongolia? They're pretty big. They got like 40 people in their band. They got some like Mongolian chant. They sound pretty cool though. Let's see. Steven says music is a major program of the blue pill crap. Unless you get really deep. Unless you get really deep in the metal. Mal says, N too deep, back to the hotel. Attaboy. I was stuck in Mojo in my town with 3 Days Grace. I like 3 Days Grace. What about Clutch? What about Chevelle? Peaches and Gump. I'm lump, I'm lump, I'm lump. It's in my head. Bloodhound Gang. Attaboy, Father. Father's got a couple of vodkas in him tonight, I know. Zach Wild and Black Label Society. You know, Zach Wild, I like Black Label, but I never really, I'm not a huge like connoisseur of Black Label. I like their stuff. Never got into, I should get into them more. You know what I've gotten into lately? Typo Negative. Like full on respect for Peter Steele. Baby Metal, says Paul. Interesting. WHO laying it down for Five Finger Death Punch. Impaled Nazarene Death, Doom Metal. Breaking Benjamin. You know, it's funny. Bush opened up for Breaking Benjamin, and Breaking Benjamin opened up for Alice in Chains last August. Riff Rage. No, actually, it was a year ago? 2022? Cannibal Corpse. Ha! IFI. Clutch. Chevelle. The Cranberries. Oh, unfortunately, she died. The lead singer of the Cranberries. She actually started a band with Andy Rourke from the Smiths. And then he died. Soulfly. A shotgun named Marcus. Motorhead. Ooh, going Lemmy Kilmister on me. Gosh dang it, Paul. He knows what he's talking about. How did you know I have vodka in my veins? Damn men's brains in their pattern. You're as predictable as ice in Antarctica, which is a good thing. Japanese metal band called Dr. Engray. Where's Polska? Polska should be on here. Massive Attack says CJ. Good to see CJ. Insane Clown Posse. What are you going juggalo on me, Father? I bet you went to family reunion with your Gene Code Jeans and Faygo Diet Soda. Yes, Monster Magnet. There you go. Now, let's go back to Breaking Benjamin. I don't know if you guys know that, but the lead singer of Breaking Benjamin left. His actual name is Benjamin. He does not like to fly. So when they played Europe, he took a boat from New York to Europe because he's afraid to fly. He's also scared of the dark and all these other phobias. Weird dude. Good music, right? But really interesting guy. Took a boat 7 days from New York to London so he could play a European tour. I don't know them, David, but appreciate that. Soulfly, look at you guys go. Greetings from the UK. My band was the Specials. Good mix of ska and punk. Rudy, send a message to Rudy with the Specials, Timmy. Not sure if they are known in the States, which absolutely, the Specials are great. Specials turned into general public, but Ranking Roger died, I think, 2 years ago, right? Poison by Alice Cooper. Whoa, you're going back to the 80s, early 90s, Joara. I like country. There's some major blue pill country. Forget the name of the song. It's about being a simp. Lots of simp and country, but I love to play country on guitar. I got DNA test on standby. Do I need to? Father Saunders. You need a DNA test. Father went to live show. I was always scared since black. I don't know what that means, but Peter Steele is a good red pill case. His sister and family got him institutionalized to steal his money. You know what's interesting about him? He worked in the Central Park. He was a landscaper, and then he started that band Carnivore, and then he was an atheist. By the end of his life, he became a Christian again. Very interesting. Which, hey, no hate, you know. JLM is in the house. Everyone was watching Pop. Attaboy. Terrence Pop. Dope. Came across a lot of 80s knockoff bands. The Essence. I'll have to check them out, WHO. Father Saunders. Marilyn Manson for 300. Trebek. Mirror in the Bathroom by English Beat. A mirror in the bathroom. Did English Beat turn into general public? Was the Specials? I can't remember. David Allen Coe. Timothy would know. It is late. It's late where you're at. It's got to be 4 a.m, brother. You getting up early or what? Timothy from... Is Timothy? No, Timothy's in the States. Timothy from Bristol. The people, Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson's an interesting guy. Respect his music, but he's an interesting guy. Didn't know the Cranberry singer gal died. She did. Oh, what the hell is her name? I want to say like Florence or Dolores or something like that. Jawara, Alice Cooper had a show that was intense. His Welcome to My Nightmare concert was great. You know, Alice Cooper came out in the 80s with Trash. Remember that CD? I think Poison. Jawara likes Poison, but the CD was called Trash. He drove around in a trash truck in LA to promote it. Kudos. Massive Attack. Attaboy from Bristol. Who do I love from England? Motorhead. The Cult. Def Leppard. Good bands out of England. Marilyn Manson fighting the accusation. You know, they're going after him now. He's an ugly dude, too. English Beat did turn into... Oh, okay, it wasn't the Specials. It was English Beat. There you go. Tenderness. Remember that from General Public? Bloodhound Gang. Look at you guys. I used to be all about this type of shit, guys. Live for it. Was able to attend one of the last Ozfests. Dude, Ozzy kicks ass still. He just came out with that song with Post Malone 2 years ago. Still got the pipes. And I just listened to Rolling Stones, their new one that came out 2 weeks ago. Those guys are still killing it. They sound like the 70s. Or the Stones from the 70s. Joe Bonamassa, Hot Blues. Don't know them. I do like blues. I like acid jazz as well. Knocked Loose out of Kentucky. Not really bass, but great pit music. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Paul Smecker says Tear. All right. Garbage, Veruca Salt. I remember Veruca Salt. Are we going back with Frank Black with the Pixies and then the Breeders? Those bands. Actually, the only girl band, 2 girl bands I like. Actually, I like 3 girl. I like Sinead O'Connor's early stuff. I like Echo Belly from England. And I like the Sundays from England. That's it. I love the Cult Spirit Walker and love Removal Machine. You know, the Cult's right now on the Death Cult tour, and they're playing a lot of those old stuff. Spirit Walker off Dreamtime, one of my favorites. Against Me became he did, man. Oh, what the name? Laura somebody now? Dolores. See, I was right. It's close. SC, he's laying it down in Chinatown. Godsmack. Oh, I love Godsmack. I played Godsmack on here a couple times. The Beat turned into General Public. Specials turned into Fun Boy 3. Yeah, I didn't follow the Specials after A Message to You, Rudy, era. Judas Priest was a good show. Mudvayne, Mouth Agape. John Boston, he knows 1 or 2 things about music. He's a big Rush fan. And Extreme. Any of you play instruments? John Boston plays bass. I play guitar. Scotty plays drums. Scotty's side. FJT plays guitar. Tara is awesome. Look at you guys. Can you just slow down? Pixies, they were from Boston. Remember Frank Black was the lead singer of Pixies. I like Pixies with A Wave of Mutilation, which is a great song, great CD. And then he went solo. He went Francis Black, and then he went Frank Black, then Black Francis. Last time I knew, he was walking around. He moved to Portland. He was walking around, and a couple of my friends saw him. He was all heavy with a big beer belly. Belly and the Breeders. I remember Belly. Never got into him, though. La Bamba. La Bamba from Los Lobos. Is it Los Lobos? RAD, Sinead. I like the first CD by Sinead. Yeah. Stone Sour, Perfect Circle by Maynard. Attaboy. Biffy Clyro for Pussifer. There's another Maynard band right there. What do you guys go Maynard on me for? Riff Rage plays guitar. Mega's another Rush freak. So is John Boston. Terrestrial radio here in Cali is old ass 80s pre-program. They're pushing 70s and interesting. AC/DC is my workout. I'd like me some AC/DC. Tool. Husker Du. Paul. Let's see. Mega going back. Yeah. David Smith. I play the Git Fiddle as well. Who plays the slide guitar? Respect for anyone that can play the slide guitar. Mazzy Star. Ooh, Mazzy Star. Had her first CD. She's not bad. PJ Harvey. I put Mazzy Star and PJ Harvey similar. Although Mazzy Star's a lot like... I feel like they look the same. I play guitar, drums, harmonica. There you go, Timothy. Glenn Danzig for 300 was a prick, but that's, he's only 5'3", Mega Mouthy Gabe. He was great. I mean, I still am a big Misfits fan. Sam Hain, Misfits. Danzig was good, their first two. The only AC/DCs I like are Black and Black and Highway to Hell. Ooh, Brian Johnson. You don't like Bon Scott? What's up, Jawara? Die Hard Logic. I saw Rush from 81 on the last show. Saw them every time they were around New England. I think John Boston is channeling his inner Geddy Lee. Never saw Rush. I use Modern Talking as my lung exercise at night. If I can't finish, gotta hit meds. Oh, there you go. Where's the Rev? He's in his van down by the river. Dirty Deeds. There you go. Was our company song in Airborne. Dirty Deeds, Bon Scott. Fade Into You by Mazzy Star. Yeah, that first CD by Mazzy Star was pretty decent. Makeout music back in my high school days. I can enjoy the music while not liking a lot of these guys. Most of these guys are libs. They're libtards. Played the entire, except Metallica. Played the entire Cheap Trick at Boot Cane this weekend. Have a Roland D50, and I'm replacing some internal cards. I wish I kept my Juno 106. And Moog for 300. They make a great keyboard. What else is Rad like? I mean, I'm going through I should show you my iTunes. What about Yes? Anybody into Yes? Is Timothy saying he likes Yes? Sublime. Attaboy. Unfortunately, rest in peace to the lead singer. But now Sublime is still playing with Rome. He's at Hispanic guy. Sounds like him. It's actually Sublime with Rome sounds really good. I'll tell you who I got in here. Radiohead, the Ramones, Rat, Reverend Horton Heat, Richard Ashcroft, Roxy Music, Scorpion, Sex Pistols, The Shore, Simple Minds, Skid Row, Slackjaw, Slaughter, Slaves, The Smiths, Social Distortion, Stars, Soda Stereo, Stray Cats, Suicidal Tendencies, Tora, Travis, Van Halen, The Ventures, The Verve, Warrant, Weezer, White Lion, Winger, XYZ. Go up a little bit earlier. Agent Orange, Arctic Monkeys, Bad Brains, Beach Boys, Beastie Boys, Beatrice 9, Better Than Ezra, Blazing Longboards, Bon Jovi, Brian Setzer, Bullet Boys, Bush, Catherine Will, The Charlatans UK, Chris Isaac, The Clash, Coldplay, only the first two, Counting Crows, only the first one, Crowded House, The Cure. How did everybody become Liz? Because I think they feel guilty when they make that kind of money and they get that popular. Blind Melon, Shannon Hoon died. Shannon Hoon was Axl Rose's best friend from Lafayette, Indiana. Did anybody know that? Brad Noel was the frontman for Sublime. Rest in peace to him. Chris Squire and Geddy Lee were my bass idols. What about Flea? You don't like Flea, John? Meatloaf. Meatloaf is in Fight Club with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. Shannon Hoon, there you go. Urban concentrations caused liberalism issues. Well said. Meatloaf, man, that guy he ate meatloaf, I'll tell you that. Scorpions Love It for Sting was my first album. I got it on my iTunes. Interesting, some music you loved once, you now look back and wonder what the F. Four Non-Blondes, Skittles. Attaboy, Jawara. I saw the Blind Melon bio behind the music. Shannon Hoon. Him and Axl were buddies. Rad, you're not going to be surprised. I'm getting the GED 2112 preamp. Attaboy. Mother Love Bone. You know who Mother Love Bone is? Andrew, who died, whose sweater was worn in the Alice in Chains Wood video by Lane Staley. Mother Love Bone with Stone Gossage was the original Pearl Jam. Mother Love Bone acquired Eddie Vedder and changed their name. So if you guys like Pearl Jam, you should like Mother Love Bone because they are the original Pearl Jam. Unfortunately, Andrew died of a drug overdose. Temple of the Dog, Soundgarden, Green River, Mad Season. Flea's dope as well. I was stuck on Three Doors Down, was listening to Linkin Park. Attaboy. Like me some Linkin Park. The Sugar Cubes from Iceland. Bjork. Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. Great bass player. Thin Lizzy, good stuff. Send me an angel. Send me an angel. Ooh, real. Who sang that? Real Life? My first live concert was John Michael Montgomery. I knew that, Father Saunders. And then your next one was Slipknot. Skid Row, 18 in Life, Sebastian Bach. Actually, Skid Row's, oh, shit. What is it? What is the one? Slave to the Grind. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind album, which was the last one with Sebastian Bach, is still relative today. Go listen to Slave to the Grind. It was way ahead of its time. John Entwistle was great. McCartney, of course, Rickenbacker players. Rickenbacker's a good bass, I'll tell you that. Mudhoney. Ooh, Megatron. I saw Tad Nirvana open up for Tad, and Tad open up for Mudhoney. Kurt Cobain was a roadie, I believe, for the Melvins and Mudhoney. I saw Pearl Jam and Soundgarden back at Lollapalooza in the 90s. Did you see Perry Farrell from Porno for Pyros? Because Jane's Addiction was defunct by then. Evan Flo, Alive, Jeremy. Those are the only 3 songs I like, too. I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan. Real Life. There you go. I knew what I was talking about. I wanted to say Talk, but it's Real Life. Mochi is in the house. Good to see you. Salud. Saludos. I even listen to Nickelback. I love Nickelback. I got all their stuff. They got some hard bang. I mean, say what you want about Chad, the lead singer, but I think they're great. Isn't Britney Spears a good example of society about the same age and crushed on her in high school? Now she's a poster child of modern women. She sure is. Good night, SE. Smashing Pumpkins. I like the original first one with Billy Corgan. They got too big for me with Today. Today. Back then. But their very first one was great. Chili Peppers, great. Early Chili Peppers. Not actually, I liked everything up to Mother's Milk. I like Subterranean Homesick Blues, Freaky Styley. What's the first one? With True Men Don't Kill Coyotes. But Mother's Milk was the last one I really liked. That had, that was, 89 Mother's Milk came out? 89, 90? So, feeling way too damn good. There's a Nickelback song, Timothy. You know what up. Are you doing Dog Pill? We should be doing Dog Pill. But anyhow, I'll get back to it. Who else do I got here? The Cure, DAD, Disneyland After Dark, a Swedish rock band, Danzig, David Gray, DC Talk, a Christian band, Dead Can Dance, The Deers from Canada, Leopard, Depeche Mode, Doves from England, Drill Team, The Drums, Duran Duran, Echo and the Bunnymen, Echo Belly, Edwin Collins, Electrofiction, Electricity, Elvis. Love me some Elvis. Embrace, English as well. Enough's Enough out of Chicago. Eros Ramazzotti from Italy. Everclear, Faster Pussycat, Fine Young Cannibals, Firehouse, Fishbone, Fido Pies, Foster the People, The Fray, Gene Love Jezebel, Generation X, George Michael, Gianluca Grignani from Italy, Godsmack, Great White, Green Day, Greta Van Fleet. I just like the first one. I just found out the lead singer from Greta Van Fleet is Skittles. David Smith says that new San Quentin song isn't that bad. I like their early stuff. I heard it. It's okay. It's okay. Red, the Chili's, Ishi says, went to high school by me, Fairfax. I went to Hollywood. Yeah, I thought they were down in Anaheim or something like that. I could be wrong. Good to see Ishi. He knows a thing or two about tunes. Ozzy, No More Tears. Hell yes. No More Tears. Led Zepp. Can't go wrong with Led Zeppelin, guys. Rad, listening to YouTube, and it selected Motley Crue's first, listening to it now. Some of these songs sound so stupid. Too Fast to Love, Too Fast to Die. Livewire. Jars of Clay. I remember those guys. Did you say Eros Ramazzotti? Yes, he's from Italy. I've got 4 of his CDs. I used to see Larry from Motorhead, Lenny from at Ralph's when I was a kid. I'm from the Sunset Strip. I know he hung out at the Rainbow all the time, at the same seat at the bar. Would have loved to have gone to the Rainbow to have a patty melt and hang out with Lenny. Heard he was cool as crap. 80s, 90s, and 2000s was the last bastion of original ideas, be it music, games, movies. Not to say they're not talent out there, but you really have to search for it. I agree with that 100%. He's Skittles. He just came out. Skittles, yes. Crazy. So I don't know. I don't like him that much anymore. Pink Floyd did way too much psychedelics in my youth. Going to the edge of reality with Pink Floyd. I do like me some Floyd. In high school, every high school junior and senior loves Cream, especially when I grew up. Cream, Grateful Dead, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, The Doors, classic staples, Deep Purple. Roland 96 2810. Good to see you, brother. Godsmack. Love that CD. Tell me where you are from. Led Zeppelin did When the Levee Breaks. Hell yeah, Megatron. I think the Beastie Boys used that in Rhymin' and Stealin' on their first one. Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Never gets old. He's Skittles, David. Yep, he came out as Skittles. Steven, ska's interesting. Ska is basically one track. It's like one track. I like a couple songs. Most of LA today is boarded up. Smells like piss. You ain't wrong about that. Iron Man. There you go. Okay, I'm going down. I got Guns N' Roses, Gray Boy, Acid Jazz, 97. Gustavo Cerati's from Argentina. Hardline. Actually, Hardline and Neil Schon had a band, Heads Up, The Heartthrobs, The Heavens, Helio Sequence, Holy Barbarians, which is Ian Astbury's second band. Hombres Hey from Spain. The House Martins. Yeah, it's very Skittles. I Am Clute from England, Ian Astbury solo, Ian Brown, who Stone Roses singer, Ian McCulloch, who is Echo and the Bunnymen singer, INXS, Jack Johnson, James, Jason Mraz, Jerry Rivera from Puerto Rico, the Jesus and Mary Chain, Jesus Jones, Jet from Australia. I even like a little John Mayer, Johnny Cash, Johnny Marr, Keane. Keane was the original, Keane invited Chris Martin to be part of their band, but Chris Martin started Coldplay. Kevin Max, Killer Dwarfs from Canada, The Killers, which I saw in 2000 with 40 people in the house. LA Guns, Lale from Chile, Last Shadow Puppets, Lee Rocker, who is who? The bassist for Stray Cats. John Boston says, I was showing my kids Diary of a Madman. I said, open it up and look at the signature. It's signed by Ozzy. Ooh, that would have been dope. Stevie Ray, Rock My House. Butthole Surfers. Attaboy, Mega. Jem Power, good to see you. You have Suede, Autofiction in that play? Yes. If you don't add it, listen to that record. Yes, I have Suede. Did I mention them? Do I like Mexican songs? Yes, I love Luis Miguel, Emmanuel, Maná, Café Tacuba, Gloria Trevi. Who else? Cristin Castro. I know my Mexican music as well. If anyone needs a reference for music, for fuck's sake, come back and listen to the stream for a plethora of ideas. We're all over the place, brother, aren't we, Father? People into metal, check out a Polish metal band called Batushka. It's like monk chants to death metal. I think Polska might know them. Where's Polska at? Okay, we're going now in the M's. In the M's. Hold on, no, we're in the L's. Liam Gallagher, Los Enanitos Verdes, Los Prisioneros, they're from South America. Love and Rockets, Luis Miguel. Machines of Loving Grace, Matt Kearney. Material Issue out of Chicago. Memphis, out of Canada. Michael Bublé, yes. Rad likes a little Bublé. Midnight Oil, big fan. Mighty Lemon Drops, England. Minor Threat, back east, DC area. The Moons, Morrissey, Motley Crue, Not a Surf, Nickelback, 9 Inch Nails, Northern Portrait, Oasis, The Ocean Blue out of Hershey, Pennsylvania, The Orange Pill, Sacramento, Ozzy Osbourne, Panic at the Disco, Pet Shop Boys, Peter Murphy, Poison, Public Image Limited, Radiohead, The Ramones, and then we're back. Let's see. Timothy says, I got to put up with mariachi every weekend till the choppers and flashing lights show up. Although I do like when Luis Miguel sings mariachi. I'm a huge Luis Miguel fan. I like Deftones, says Steven Arizona. We got a couple guys in here. Deftones mentioned multiple times. I like Mexican Rafaela Carrera. Or is it Cara? Rad, next summer, I want to go to England and see Suede and the Manic Street Preachers. Woo, there's a name. Manic, I like those guys. In fact, is it stereo? What the fuck? What's the stereo? Stereophonics and Manic Street Preachers played for a while together. Manic Street, they're actually pretty good. They're kind of like not overrated, but they're underrated in a weird sense. Does that make sense? Get the Shot and Drag the Lake are two of my favorite Canadian bands. Heavy. There's some good Canadian music. There really is. We're an hour early. The Refreshments, Reverend Horton Heat, Resurrect, Safety Suit. I think I've gone through it. And I like a lot of other stuff. I mean, obviously Typo Negative. Slaves, which is kind of a post-punk, but it's not like Blink-182. It's like punk rock, hard music with a Justin Bieber singer type. Stereo MCs, got to get yourself connected. Right in on the wall. If you feel neglected, stumble, you might fall. What about the dude that sings, what the hell is her name? He's a short little guy, Kenny. Is it Stereo MCs? Oh man, I mean, it's off the tip of my tongue, right? And I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to music. I'll get it back. But way to go, JLM. $1 Million Challenge. Anyone ever listen to Flagrante Delito, tiny band from Arizona from the 90s? No, but I do like me some of the Refreshments from Arizona and Machines of Loving Grace. Motorcycle Emptiness has a great guitar riff. Gogo Barlelo, Leonardo Fabio the Simp. Joe Bonamassa filled every major venue all over. You know what? This is the third person that's mentioned it. I got to check that out. Any band out of Canada on the network label was great for a time. Steven, Arizona, Johnny Cash. If you can see a Johnny Cash, there's a Johnny Cash cover band called Cashed Out. Wonderful. They literally sound like early Johnny Cash. In fact, they played at Johnny Cash's funeral. Timma from South Park. Rory Gallagher, Gordon Lightfoot, April Wine, Saga, Triumph, Rush. There you go. Who else from Canada? The Grapes of Wrath. Grapes of Wrath are probably the biggest band outside of Rush. Would you agree, John Boston? Beautiful Life from Laguna Beach. He knows a thing or two about music. Good to see you. It's only, what, 8:26? Portishead. Portishead. What about Poe? Do you guys remember Poe? Can you go to Lake Tahoe? I've been to Lake Tahoe. I've been to the North and the South Shore, but it's about a 10-hour drive from here. Time change, it's really not that light. You're absolutely right. Beautiful Life put some old school songs in her videos. Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld for the win. Mega Aldenova, never got into him. Never got into Aldenova. But, you know, my mom listened to him. So who else we got? We talked about old school rap. None of that new crap is great. Is there any? There's so much music now that I feel like when I grew up in the late, obviously late 70s, when I started finding out about music, my first cassette I ever bought, you guys are going to freak out about this. I'm drinking a Rush Canadian Golden Ale. John Boston laying it down. Is that a Kokomi or a Molson? I guess Frankie is sick. Brandon Trueblood doing a stream on the next hour. Yeah, he did mention. Shout out, prayers for Frankie. Have you listened to Periphery? They're extremely talented technical guitarists like Joe Satriani or Joe Saturn. Yeah. No, I haven't, brother. I'll check it out. Old school is the best. We know what's good. Yes, we do. Portugal the Man. There you go. That's probably a decent band from the last 20 years. 7:30 here feels like 10. I know it feels like 12 midnight to me. Just I hate this. I hate this early daylight savings time crap. I wish I was like Arizona where they don't change the time. But anyhow, my first cassette I ever bought got a Tower Records gift certificate for $10 in my stocking. was it 1983 or 84? And I went to Tower Records and I actually bought 2 cassettes because I could afford it with my gift certificate. The first one was Cameo because I like the song Word Up, It's the Cold Word. Remember Cameo and the black guy had that funky, huge, like flat top black afro? My second one was Kings and Queens by Aerosmith. Now I thought Kings and Queens had, what's their songs that they sang? The slow one. I can't even remember. Sweet Emotion and the other one, the real slow one. But it wasn't. It had Kings and Queens and Guillotines, Taking Lives Tonight. But those are my very first CDs I ever bought, Cameo and Aerosmith. NAS did New York State of Mind. There you go. It's from Henderson. I ordered it from Toronto. Can you get alcohol delivered? Dude, one of the guitarists from Periphery is Skittles. They recently did a song with Steve Vai, super talented. Yeah, too many Skittles, man. Who's saying Good Night America? How are you? I don't know. Beautiful Life says it gets dark at 5. Yep, here too. Dred Zeppelin, Elvis impersonator singing Zeppelin and reggae. I've heard them, Mouth. I've heard them. We should probably get to Brandon streaming a little bit. And he wore a cool piece, that Cameo front. Yes, Cameo. There's like 3 or 4 songs on that was good. That was my very first one I ever bought. And I listened to that all day long. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I spent my $10 and I'm going to get my money's out of it. Draw the Line was a great album. You are thinking of Dream On. That's it, John. Dream on, dream on. JLM, yep, Dream On. Angie was Rolling Stones. You guys check out the new Rolling Stones. I'm blown away by 80-year-olds that can make great music today. I thought it'd be a shit show. It's not bad. Arlo Guthrie, don't know much about that. Megatron, Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix, Gem Power. This is an import charge. Cost me about $90 for a case of Rush beer. Is that the beer that Rush drank? Do I ski? I snowboard. You should know that. I skied when I was in like 5th grade, and then I got a snowboard in 7th grade. I got the Burton Woody that didn't even have bindings. It had a rubber enclosure for your front toe. You wore Sorels, and you had a leash on the back. And then the next Burton that came out like a year or 2 later was the Elite 150, and that had actual bindings. So I snowboard. But I don't snowboard as much anymore. I'm getting tired of the cold. Richard Cheese for 300. Have you heard the one he does with he does a Guns N' Roses and he does a Rage Against the Machine. Which one does he does by Ray? That's so funny. Richard Cheese is lounge singer and he does Radiohead. And I think he does Beastie Boys too. That's funny you bring that up, Mouth. Crosstown Traffic, another Hendrix jam. Hendrix I like. Dope. You know who I really like now? He's like a modern day Hendrix. Iron Jones. Check him out. Aryon Jones. He's from Seattle. He's a black kid that plays guitar. Dope. Only the sissy French ski. I'm just better on one board instead of 2 skis. Let's see. Las Vegas is where musicians go to die. You ever want to feel old? See who are the casino bands? Yep. You're not mistaken. New Stones isn't bad, but it's satisfying. I love, oh yeah. And Beast of Burden. Skater Boy. I still skate. I skated last week. I can't drive 55. I like the Red Rockers, 3 Lock Blocks. What's the other one he did? The rock and roll song, which is dope. Richard Cheese is great. Rally around the family with a pocket full of shells. A rally around the family. That's Richard Cheese, guys. Check him out. I sent you a pic of the Rush beer. I'll check it out, Mr. Boston. Got myself some Purple Haze. Smoke them if you got them. There you go, Jim. Timothy, learning to ski at 12 in upstate New York. You guys have hills out there in New York. Where'd you guys? I figured Vermont would be the place to go. I first heard Richard Cheese. Yes, gin and juice. Sipping on gin and juice. He does Snoop too. What about Weird Al doing some of the stuff? The Motown sound was in part due to special recording techniques a German dude used in the mixing and engineering stage. Interesting. See, we learned something from each other. Sympathy for the Devil, favorite Stones. You got to respect, the Beatles are the #1 pop British band, the British Invasion. And the Rolling Stones said they were the longest lasting. They never said they were the #1 band. I think they said something else. I'm a fan of the John Lennon Beatles. I do not like it when Paul McCartney sings. Murder me, tar and feather me, but I am a John Lennon singer from the Beatles. I do not like Paul McCartney songs. I like his playing guitar or bass, but I'm a John Lennon guy. Oh, but RAD, Paul McCartney's he's a wonderful, talented musician, but it doesn't float my boat. I'd rather listen to John Lennon. Can't Buy Me Love. It's the greatest Beatles song ever. Love Me Do. Love Me Do. We can get into the Beatles, all that conspiracy with Sgt. Pepper's. Skittle. He sure is Skittles. Smoking Indio, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. There's nothing, man. I would love to hang out with Snoop Dogg. I think he's a year older than me. It'd be funny. Cars. Rick Ocasek for 300. The Beatles are overrated, Jen. I think you're right. I think the Stones, they've gone the distance, obviously. Under My Thumb and Wild Horses are my favorite. Ooh, Wild Horses. The Sundays redid that. New York State, Vermont, Green Mountains, New Hampshire, White Mountains, Maine, Sugar Loaf, lots of skiing. I'm 20 minutes from the best snow on earth in Utah. But it'd be fun to go out and ski those slopes. Wild Horses. That's a great song. The Stones do it well. Well, they invented it, right? And the Sundays did. Mexican polka. Let's go. We're going back to the Cars, 80s, late 70s, early 80s. Drive by the Cars. Great song. Rick Ocasek died. He married that hot chick, though. His neck was about 12 feet tall. Ugly looking dude, pale as hell. Like they a good band, didn't get me wrong, but to say they're the best ever in the world is crazy. I agree with that. Who's the best band in the world? I don't think you can name it. If I had to name the best band that crosses all generations, where their music is still relevant today with my parents, potentially my grandparents, me, my kids, and what they're going to be listening to, I'm going to have to say Zeppelin. And a close second would be the Doors. Maybe Queen, Pink Floyd, but I'm not saying they're not in my top 10. They're in my top 20. But I think how they cross generations is which keeps them relevant. Does that make sense? Tejano music. Or is it Música Norteña? Afro Man, the cop searched his house for drugs. He wrote a song and used the security camera in the video. Dope. Murder was a case that they gave me. Jem Power says Queen. Yeah, Queen was up there, Freddie Mercury. But I really think in my heart of hearts, if there is one band that could cross all different cultures and still be relevant in the 60s till today, I would have to say Led Zeppelin. Rush might be up there, but I think Led Zeppelin covers everything. I think Rush would be in that genre. But that's what I think. New haircut, RAD. I don't have a haircut. Queen, when gay men were masculine, didn't have man buns. Look at Judas Priest, right? Rod Halbert, he's Skittles. I'll listen to him. But he's not out promoting it. I respect the talent of Queen, but I'm not a fan of the music. I like 4 or 5 songs from Queen, but I don't have anything by him. I like U2, but I don't have anything by U2. I think U2's Sunday Bloody Sundays album is the best that they came out with, their first one. Friend of mine lives near Greg Hawkes, the keyboard player from the Cars. He went to Berkeley. In Boston, he lives in Lincoln, Massachusetts. Interesting. That's cool. Bought a guitar in high school and learned every James Taylor song. Got me laid on the regular. Attaboy. Queen. Yeah, I think the movie helped push it, Jem. You're right. Sure. Rad, how about that channel I sent you? Dating Delusions for 300. I like it. Well, the reality is this. I mean, there's men that age horribly too. There's women that age. There are some gorgeous women in their 50s that have taken care of themselves, but they're very rare. You know, a woman that drinks heavily, smokes, pierces herself, uses a lot of injections, Botox, fillers, makeup, and is angry is going to age very quick. But a woman that is delightful, friendly, feminine, classy, takes care of her body, takes care of her psyche, takes care of what she ingests in her body, is going to look decent. She's not going to look like she's 20, but there are 50-year-olds that are not bad looking. I mean, look at Jennifer Aniston. Look at Sandra Bullock. Look at Salma Hayek. You know, again, they can afford it, but the majority, 99% of women over the age of 40 are not attractive in a lot of ways. And I think attraction also has to do with their personalities. Men age better than women if they take care of themselves, Jim. Mike Bloomberg was in Medford's Mini Mike. He grew up in Medford and donated money to build a new library and named the library after his parents. Too bad he's a libtard. Mini Mike. Remember when Trump called him Mini Mike? When I first learned how to play guitar, the song that got me laid the most was called Emily. David Smith. Using the guitar. You know, Neil Peart wrote all the lyrics and practiced like 3 hours a day without him rushes not. You know, the thing I like about Neil Peart is he would get to these venues. He'd ride his BMW dual sport. He didn't like to fly. So he'd ride from venue to venue. So he's in New York. He's got to ride to Philadelphia, right? He'd get there 6-7 hours before, and he'd play for 3 hours to practice. Dude was a craft of his music. Full on respect. Rest in peace, Neil. It's unfortunate what happened to his wife and daughter. They died before him. It put him off of, you know, I mean, could you imagine losing the love of your life and your daughter in a car accident? You know, so much fame, so much popularity, so much money, but yet the love of his life and his daughter are killed. I don't know how anyone goes on, but he went on for several years. I mean, John Boston would know about Peart's life, but it is what it is. I mean, so there's lots of wonderful music out there. Lots. Beck is a good country singer. Termites choking on a splinter. Loser was a great song. 2 turntables and a microphone. Beck's great. But he's lived hard too. Yes, he did, unfortunately. JLM. Creedence Clearwater, John Fogerty. Then he had his band play it. You know who's interesting now? Mammoth Van Halen. Wolfgang Van Halen plays every instrument on his albums. We saw them open up for Guns N' Roses, and he's a heavy dude, but man, he did not get nepotism from his father. This dude is legit, can play his own music. And another guy that can play his own music is Willie Nelson's kid, Lucas Nelson. I saw him at Jazz Fest. He opened up for Jack Johnson. Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's kid. Willie probably had him when he was 70. That dude can play music. So there are singers and songwriters that come from famous families, but they created their own, style. Steven Tyler looks like a lady. Was that the first Skittles reference song? Rush wouldn't create 2112 without Biter and the Necromancer, which were concepts Peart came up with. Interesting. Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails wrote all the music and lyrics and hired studio. Trent Reznor's Very first CD, and I saw them in 1989. Pretty Hate Machine. He could not get anybody because obviously industrial music was what it was called. It wasn't called alternative. Industrial. Very hard electronic guitars, keyboards, shouting. He could not get signed by any record label, so he printed them himself and he self-promoted himself. Respect. And when I went to the show, I was just a senior in high school. I was 89. My buddy was the photographer for the school newspaper, and we got free tickets. Trent Reznor invited us onto his tour bus. Coolest guy ever. Talked about skateboarding, talked about music, talked about what we liked. They were headlining. Sky Cries Mary opened up for him. But very cool guy. Respect for what he did. Nobody would sign that band. He had to do it himself, print the cassettes, do the recording, pay for it out of his pocket. Good for him. Jem, his kid is Lucas Nelson. Check out his songs. Trent Reznor is a musical genius without a doubt, 100%. So is Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. Check out his documentary that came out last year. Rabbit hole if you want to dive down. Many of the 60s stars had deep family ties to the CIA and military. Quick example is Jim Morrison's dad was an admiral. Interesting. Did not know that. I knew his dad was in the military, but I did not know they had those ties. A friend of mine who lives in Duxbury got in an argument with Joe Perry because he would throw his grass clippings in the woods and Joe Perry's horses and eat the grass. I don't know. I mean, Aerosmith, I respect him, but I don't have anything by him. I don't know. Steven Tyler's like face, his mouth, I don't know, for some reason drives me nuts. Pretty Hate Machine, wonderful song. My favorite song on that is Ring Finger. Ring Finger. Came out late 1988. Was the first Lollapalooza. Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction, Porno for Pyros, started Lollapalooza. If anybody did not know that, Perry Farrell is a diva. Apparently, Porno for Pyros are getting back together. What does a Grateful Dead fan say when they're sober? It's out of tune. Jerry Garcia for 300, Trebek. Rad, do you think Cat Timp is ultra foldable, as CGA would say? Possibly. Possibly, John. Heard it before the Gulf War. Joe Perry from Aerosmith. Kinda I Want To, baby. Yep, that's a good song too. That whole CD kicks ass. Pretty Hate Machine. Great song. Or great CD. Ring Finger is awesome. That's what I get. That's what I get. I want to F you like an animal. I've been done with Aerosmith since I saw them at the Worcester Centrum and Tyler collapsed. Ted Nugent came back in and played another hour set. Yeah, I mean, there's some bands. I mean, like U2, I don't even have any of their stuff, but I do like their first one. I mean, I like a lot of songs. I like One. I like With or Without You, but I don't have any other stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of a music weird. Like I'm very protective of the music I like, right? So it's really hard for me to cheat on the music I love for new music. I got a buddy. He listens to everything Spotify throws at him. He's into find 15 bands that sound like, the Charlatans UK or Ministry, and he'll be all down that rabbit hole. But I'm like, I'll just stick with my bands that started it. So you guys have been great. This has been a great stream. I'm going to cut it out and relax, maybe play some guitar. We'll do another music stream 2.0. Put on your favorite music and rock out tonight, and we'll talk to you soon. Rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, and men first.